Hello, all you beautiful people. Mike Ferrasi, along with Johnny Fowler, and the Fly the Flag podcast, brought to you by American Financial Network Incorporated. We're a mortgage show where we talk to mortgage people about mortgage things. Thanks for being with us. Johnny, how you doing today?
I am doing absolutely wonderful.
Awesome.
Every time we do this, I have more and more fun. The episode that we just recorded, talking about controversial things, one, it teaches me a lot more about who you are and how much I appreciate you so much more.
Thank you.
I am every day. I don't ever want this really everyday happy feeling that we get to do this to ever leave. I'm just having a blast doing this.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun, and I feel comfortable and like I'm talking with my people. I don't know if the controversial things episode actually made it to light. We haven't made that decision yet. I'm not sure if it's published, but what I can say is that I typically lean financially conservative and socially liberal, and I feel like I can't have a political conversation with anyone.
Yes.
But that was actually a constructive conversation. We had a lot of fun with it. There were agreements and disagreements, and nobody got sad, and we were able to talk as adults, which is kind of rare these days. So thank you.
I agree. I love it. It meant everything, and it is so nice. And I like talking, both sides of the aisle, because these are all human things. These are things that we need to know. And, with our business, our industry being one of the lead factors of GDP, being one of the main pushes of GDP, these are things that truly take place inside of our theoretical house every single day.
Agreed. Absolutely. But we're going to move on to today's topic.
Let's go.
And today's topic needs a special guest. And joining us again is our social media maven here at American Financial Network. Let's welcome back Bethany McLaughlin. How's it going, Bethany?
That's awesome. It's going great.
Print that on something. You need a business card or a profile.
Change your name to that right now to social media maven.
I would do that, but it would rob the audience of knowing her actual name, so they could find her on the LinkedIn and the Twitters and the Facebooks and the metaverses and the Instagrams and the TikToks. And I missed something. I had to miss something.
Snap, but who cares?
There you go. There you go. I always thought that was how I called my dog.
Snapchat.
Bethany, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
And we're going to lean into your expertise and let you drive the show today.
Get it.
Okay.
Because I want to talk about the top 5 social media mistakes that mortgage professionals make. Johnny, you okay? Looked like you fell over for a second.
No, I just actually put my water bottle down. It was in the camera lens.
Cool. Social media mistakes. There's a lot of them. Let's be honest. In the mortgage industry, our group of professionals trends a little older than your standard social media user when looking at all platforms.
I really feel that when you say that, and because you say that repeatedly about older,
I'm directly targeting you, bro.
You're directly targeting me, and I can feel the lasers from your eyes coming through the camera and nailing me. Just want to throw that out there.
I have to say it as many times until I am also older. So, you're the social media expert, girl. I know that you have way more than 5 mistakes off the top of your head right now, but if you could rein it in a little bit to make this a little more digestible for us, let's flip the script a little bit. Either top 5 mistakes that mortgage industry professionals are making on social media, or things that they really should be doing that they're just completely forgetting about.
We'll do both. Do an A and a B.
I'll see what I can do.
All right.
So the majority of things that I will talk about have to do with Facebook, and me and Johnny we talk a lot about Facebook because, as we describe it, it's kind of the universal thing that works. If you know how to use Facebook, you'll know how to use all the other social medias. It really is. If you learn how to play that instrument, you can play the others.
Gotcha.
So I'll really talk about that. The other thing too is because the majority of our audience in the mortgage industry is on Facebook.
Okay.
That is just the age group that is on Facebook. So I'll say my number. So starting at number 5. Number 5, one of the worst things that you can do is share links. Facebook does not play well with others. It doesn't. So when you go and you share your listing link, or you share your survey link, or you share a YouTube link, God forbid, if you share YouTube on Facebook, Facebook gets angry and it will not show it to anyone. The only way to overcome this algorithm is if you already have a following that is solid. If you have 20,000 people that are following you, congratulations, 500 people might see it. Gotcha. Because you have that following.
And can we just clear this up for everybody? If anybody's wondering about the inner workings or how a social media platform works, whether it's Facebook or something else, just follow the money.
Mm-hmm.
But it's free.
Facebook makes money by showing. Yeah. It's free to sign up, and then you see all those ads, and that's where Facebook's making their money.
They're helping me.
And the longer that you're on Facebook, the more ads you see and the more money Facebook makes. So if you're sharing links,
help me, Mike, they're not charging those people.
If you're sharing links that take people away from Facebook, the last thing Facebook wants to do is show people that link that you shared, because they want people staying on Facebook.
Exactly.
The way that I explain it to people is pretty simple. Never once have you ever stepped into a Macy's store and there be a great big sign as soon as you walk in the door that says Dillard's sells jeans cheaper than we do.
Yep.
So why would anybody ever allow somebody else to advertise in their space?
Or as a mortgage professional, you could be talking to a borrower on the phone or in person or texting with them or emailing with them, and they're really interested in a purchase mortgage or a refinance. And you say, cool, I'm actually running an errand right now, so let me give you a call back in about 20 minutes. Until then, go ahead and go to this other mortgage's website, because they have a really good pricing engine you can use.
Right.
And you'll get an idea of your rate. Like, nobody's ever going to do that. And that's what posting an external link to a social media platform.
Great point.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So my next giant error that people do is choosing the wrong images, choosing corporate images. Okay. Now, am I saying everything that comes out of corporate is terrible? No, they're beautiful. Here's the thing, is that people will bring gorgeous magazine quality images and post them on their social media. But here's the thing, social media is not a magazine. So when you have that image that is, beautiful image, but it has all these words on it, and I get it, a lot of it's for compliance and all that stuff, but when you have more than 20% of the image being text, again, Facebook says you're trying to take this client off of Facebook. And that's not an image that I want to show anybody. So you're going to get suppressed.
That's super interesting. Can I talk about that just a little bit from a user perspective as well? I was doing some of my own research on the YouTubes yesterday, and there's a couple great media channels that I follow, and they always give tips like this. And they're saying that not just images, but if you're going to post a video, like, I love this camera, it makes everything look nice. But for a TikTok or an Instagram or a Facebook post, this is probably not what I'm going to shoot with. I'm probably going to shoot with this.
Yep.
Because, and this is what really resonated with me. If your content looks too good, then people viewing your content, they're probably just going to scroll past because they're going to think it's an advertisement.
It's an ad, yeah.
It's produced.
Yep.
That's the whole thing. People can tell the difference between a organic, real video and a produced video, something that has gone through a washing system to put together. The other thing that I find funny about this, and I'm glad that you brought up Alphabet, is the fact that, and I think it's just lack of education. So anytime you're posting, you need to have intent in your posting. What is it that I'm posting, and why am I posting this? I'm not just throwing spaghetti up against the refrigerator hoping it will stick kind of thing. Why am I posting this? Now, what's funny is, and this is something that happens quite frequently, is having to explain to people the difference, even though it's the same human. So what Mike Ferrasi sees on Facebook and what he watches on Facebook is completely different than what he will pay attention to and watch on YouTube. On
100%.
Facebook, he's short attention span. He is 3 seconds, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 60 seconds max. That's what he's trained. On YouTube, he's got no problem whatsoever watching 8, 12 minutes. And it's how we've been trained. And what's really funny about it is the fact that if Mike ever saw one of those alphabet videos come on his Facebook, he's going to look at the scale and say, oh my God, this thing's 8 minutes and 13 seconds. Yep. I'm never going to watch that. He's going to go over and search for something on YouTube and say, oh, it's not bad. It's only 8 minutes and 13 seconds.
You know, I've been hearing this a lot now that TikTok will let you upload a 10-minute long video.
Mm.
I've seen a lot of feedback from people seeing that announcement and then just immediately saying, get it off here. I'll never watch it. That's what YouTube's for.
Yep.
So just got to be cognizant of that type of stuff. So posting things that are too pretty on Facebook is kind of a double ding, right? Because Facebook is going to think you're taking people away from their platform, and then people are going to think that you're advertising to them when you may or may not be.
Exactly.
So there is nothing social about produced
Make
images.
it look worse. Right? Just maybe not quite as polished as you think it should be.
Well, make it real. It's social media. It's not the news. It's not TV. It's social media. People want to see something they can relate to.
Love that.
You know? So my next one is kind of a double sword.
Okay.
So my next one is really bad timing. So many people, they post on social media when it's convenient for them, and everyone else is doing that too. But here's the thing is that, you know, mortgage people, we're like, okay. Let me get in, let me sit down at my desk, and now I'm going to post at 9:30. Well, where is everybody else at 9:30?
Where's your customer at?
They're at work. They're trying to pay for that mortgage. They're not checking Facebook. They're stuck in a classroom dealing with 30 kids, and they can't look at their phone because they're not allowed to. You know, they're doing, their TPS reports. They're doing other things. They're not on Facebook. So you're not going to get seen at 9:30 in the morning. Nobody's seeing that. And so they think that it's a bad post. It's not a bad post necessarily.
Yeah.
Bad timing. Or they come home and then they vomit everything that they had that day. You know, oh, well, this went wrong and this went wrong and this went wrong and this happened and this happened. And that doesn't get seen because no one's on Facebook. They're getting ready for dinner. They're putting their kids to bed. They're doing all those other things, and they're not checking Facebook yet.
So time decay and
but depending on where
audience.
you're posting, depending on where you're posting, those times could differ. I can say from firsthand experience, when everybody started working from home,
different.
I saw an uptick in YouTube views that were posted around 9:00 in the morning because people who are working from home have time to have your YouTube video on in the background.
Yes, they do.
But they don't necessarily have the undivided attention that it takes to scroll through a Facebook feed intently.
In the background.
In the background. Hey, the vast majority of video is listened to as opposed to view.
Agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I do it.
That's why this podcast is available on YouTube as well.
So my next one, and this is number 2, is something that is always controversial, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. Business pages. People do business pages because they were told to do business pages. And here's the thing is that business pages had their heyday. When Facebook first came up with business pages, they put all their money behind it. They were promoting them. They were putting them in front of people. But now they're not, because business pages are to sell ads. Yep. They get zero organic traction. Facebook is done with promoting them unless you're paying for it. So a lot of people will put a business page out there and think it's automatically going to succeed. And the truth is that is not true. Business pages, the average business page in the United States has only 40 likes and follows. And after those 40 people see your content come across their feed and don't interact with it about 3 times, Facebook will take it off the feed. So they're not seeing anything. So,
but if you're running paid ads,
you're still an uphill battle, because the average to get seen on Facebook for somebody like a mortgage company or real estate, you have to spend a minimum of $2,000 a month. I will tell you that for a lead ad, the recommended spend for Facebook right now is $40 per day. That is one ad. $40 per day. That's not cheap. And that does not guarantee success.
But
that
it goes a little bit deeper than that. You've got to understand the algorithms on how these pages work at all. You have to get 25 likes and follows in the first 24 hours of building a page, or else it dies immediately. You've got to get 75 likes and follows in 72 hours, or else that page is seen as a non-event, and it doesn't really matter how much money you spend on that. Now, there are other pages that are a much, much better use and system. But no, I'm 100% with you on that one.
Yeah, you can do other things. You can do a community page. A community page is seen as a community. It gets promoted as a community. It gets suggested to people based on what you post. And it's not seen as the enemy. Like Johnny talks a lot about how, we don't like business in this country. We talk crap about business in the news. If you just look at, how businesses are seen, as sad as that is. But in a community, you can invite other people to interact with your page. You can start promoting Bob's Pizza down the street. Bob's Pizza is having, a $9.99 event tomorrow night, blah, blah, blah. Tag Bob's Pizza, tag the owner. Now you're promoting them, and you get seen as a news source in your community. You're seen as giving value rather than mortgage. And that's what I really, really encourage people to do, because so many people think, automatically I have a business, I should have a business page. No, that's not the case anymore. It really isn't.
Or obviously a celebrity page, a public image page, one of those.
Yeah.
If you're in a small area, or if you're somebody who is big in your community, all of those give you not only the same exact abilities to advertise, run analytics, look and see who your audience is, but they actually get organic traction as opposed to a business page was never designed to, and it doesn't.
Yeah. And you get all the other benefits, like being able to schedule posts. You get the business suite. You can do all the same things. It's really the best of both worlds.
Awesome.
So,
all right, I'm sitting on the edge. What's number one?
I know we got to know the number one. Number one mistake.
The number one mistake people make when it comes to social media is this set it and forget it mentality. This Ronco, if you're old enough to know what the Ronco guy said it and forget it. Here's the thing: is anything that is going to give you value, you have to be involved in. And so many people are like, I just want you to run my social media for me. That's not what it's about. You're going to get zero traction. You know why? Because you're not involved. If you are involved in your business, if you put the amount of work into it, and you are in there, you're present, it is very evident in the content that you post. And people can see that. They can see that you have passion for this, but they can also relate to you. That's why we preach so much. What makes you different? What makes you different than the lender down the street? What makes someone choose you? It's that relatability. It's people buy from who they feel they know, like, and trust. And if they can't relate to you on anything but a mortgage, which is, mortgages aren't sexy, and you only need one every, 7 to 9 years, depending on how often you move.
Sure.
So if they can't relate to you on any other level, they're not going to be your customer. So it's really getting down there and making you relatable as a human, as a mom, as, you do CrossFit, you do weightlifting, you have a dog, whatever, making you human and relatable. That's what people want to buy from. That's what people want to interact with. That's
a great point. I can relate to that firsthand, just based on the YouTube channel that I have. And you would be amazing. I'm sure you are amazing, but you would be amazed at the trust that you can build having never met someone.
Yes.
Just by flipping on the camera and talking to it like a real freaking human being, instead of being stuffy and rehearsed and this and that and whatever. And you know what? If something's no good, tell them it's no good.
That's one of the things that I talk about constantly is, people who spend tremendous amounts of money to advertise in places that truly, they get a lot of movement, a lot of feet walk by, things like that. But the people who advertise, let's say on a billboard or a grocery cart seat or something along those lines, there's nothing there. what you see, especially like when I talk about realtors, is the buyer's agents. They're trying very hard. They're doing something. They were sold something by somebody, but what ends up happening is I look and see this brand new subdivision that a real estate agent is trying to advertise and farm and all of that, and then what people do is we immediately either jump on our device or go to our computer and type in, hey, I'm thinking about moving to Town Lake. Anybody know a good realtor in Town Lake? Because we trust the people on social media, even though it's kind of I trust them from afar setup. I trust them, and I want to take this as opposed to this person who's a complete stranger, even though it could be the same person. So I am so with you. I'm so glad you said that. And one of the things I thought about when you were talking about the set it and forget it systems is, in my opinion, this is honestly 1940s, 1950s technology, the set it and forget it, because that's what television commercials do. The television station sells XYZ company advertising space. They tell them we're going to put it on 6 times during prime time. We're going to put it on 4 times after prime time. And it's a set it and forget it. And hopefully something comes from that, where the systems that we have today are so much far advanced that we can see when somebody looks at our advertisement. We can see how long they pay attention to it. We can see what it is inside of it, as opposed to set and forget it. I would have never guessed.
You can even do that on TV now. If you advertise, you can even do that on TV now through different media services, especially if you're willing to advertise on a show that's streaming.
Well, they've got TikTok television now. I assume you know.
I did not actually. I'm not a big TikTok follower.
No. So TikTok and I can't remember what streaming service it was. It was
Amazon.
Amazon.
Oh,
went
wow.
together
Okay.
and made TikTok television, and inside of the algorithms for that, they play local zip code holders 3 times over any outside advertisement. So it's one of the easiest ways in the world for anybody in our business to get on television, because you are going to advertise at no cost in your zip code.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yep.
Giving me things to think about. So Bethany, what I'm hearing from you, top 5 mistakes, I'm thinking about remedies, and it just kind of sounds like, don't be too highly produced. Be more natural and genuine in the content that you produce. When you post your content, post it as you. Be yourself. Don't hide behind a business or a brand name. Just be yourself. And do the work instead of taking the easy way out and trying to pay somebody to do it for you, because your audience is smarter than you think, and they're going to know it ain't you.
I want to add one
it's
real
gonna
quick.
It's going to come through that it's not as genuine as it would be if it was coming from you, the human being that you are.
100%.
Yeah.
I want to add one real quick, and I want to get your opinion on this.
Yep.
So something I've noticed over the years in this industry is the people that have the set it and forget it type mentality hire a specific certain age group, and then they use this person, or they think they're using this person to truly be an effective marketing person for this system. Tell me what your thoughts are on that, because I see it constantly and I see it all the time, and it's something that I think it's a huge mistake, and it may not be in your top 5, but I just want to get your opinion. What do you think about that?
Me?
Yeah.
I know I have thoughts on that too, so that's a good question.
Well, I want to hear both of your thoughts.
I'll say this. So please just bear with me here. 20-year-olds do not come pre-installed with social media knowledge. Just going to say that right there. They think they all know. They think they all know because, they use it every day. How could they not know? But the truth is, it takes a long time to get in the back end of Facebook, to get in the back end of these systems and see what works and ride the algorithms and test stuff and look at this and look at that and see how does the system interact, and it's constantly changing. So using a 20-year-old, and because I'm going to say it, no, it is not. It is not the best thing unless they are teachable, unless they are one of those that is like, okay, I'm going to learn this and invest the time in looking at what is actually working rather than what they think works. Because guess what? 25 hashtags on Instagram does not work anymore. It never worked, actually.
Yeah.
They only optimize 6.
Yeah.
So if you're actually working against yourself when you throw in that 25 hashtags.
I'm going to talk. Yeah, I want to talk about this from a professional perspective, from somebody who could hire someone but chooses not to. Mm-hmm. If you hire somebody, they're not you.
No, they're not.
They're just not you. They're not going to talk like you. They're not going to have the expertise that you have. They aren't supposed to, because you're not hiring them to do your job. But if you're hiring them to post as you, then the people that they attract when they finally get to you, they're probably going to be getting something different than what they expect. And that's not a great jumping off point for a relationship, whether it's a transactional relationship, a business relationship, or just a life relationship. Second, say you hire somebody great and they do an amazing job. You get lucky and get somebody with a little bit of mortgage experience, so they can promote you and use the lingo and stuff like that. And they do an amazing job and they grow your social and all of that stuff. And they're so amazing that they go get paid more somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Now, what are you going to do with the social media presence that they've built up for you? And you're just sitting there wanting this to continue and have no idea how to make it happen. And now you have to replace the unicorn that you got lucky to find to begin with. It's just better to do it yourself. It's not as easy. It takes more time. It's a little embarrassing once in a while. It's harder, but that really is how you're going to get the most out of it, right? There's no shortcuts here.
Mm-mm.
But it's not as hard as as people make it out to be.
It's not.
You can look and see what is working, what's not working. You can make it fit into who you are and where you live and what you do. If you look at a video that you think is funny, that has 7 views in the past, 6 weeks, whatever it is, it's a couple of things. One, it's not that funny to everybody else. The audience is not there, but figure it out. The other thing that you've got to do is you've got to also pay attention to what's getting traction and why, and does it fit with you? And one of the things that I'm told all the time is, I'm 50 years old. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. All you have to do is go on any one of these systems and look and see. There's just as many people that are doing amazing things at multi ages. Mm-hmm. So it can be done. You have to do it. And nobody cares about your excuse about I can't figure it out or I don't know. There's too many systems out there. If I need to know how to work on my Mercedes, all I have to do is go to a YouTube video, watch the video on somebody else doing it and say, that's a little over my head and I don't have those tools. Time to go to the dealer, or, I can change out that battery myself.
But with social media, these platforms are made for you to do it yourself. That's what they're all optimized to do. They want you there. They want you using the platform. You will be able to figure it out. And the second most popular excuse for not doing it is I've done it before, or I haven't done it at all, but I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to talk about. Just think about your end user. I get it. We're in the mortgage industry. It's easy to get locked in our box of mortgage industry people, but realize that when you're posting on social media, you're not talking to mortgage industry people, so they have zero knowledge of the things that you do. So to start and to establish expertise and provide real value to people who aren't in the mortgage industry, to try to appeal to them as potential customers, talk about the things that are absolutely elementary to you.
Third grade level.
The basis of what you learned when you got in the mortgage business, the things that you think are a given that everybody knows, because not everybody knows them. You already know them well. And those are probably the things that non-industry folks do need to know.
Provide value.
at the same time, you've got to be relatable. If you're a mortgage guy and all you talk about is mortgage terminology, mortgages you've done, things like that, people aren't going to pay attention to that. They're going to change that channel because they can't relate to mortgage all the time. Mm-hmm. So depending on the media that you're using, the form that you're using, you've got to be relatable to your audience. If you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, your audience is not people that are standing in line trying to borrow money. Your audience is made up of your social influence on people who want to have some sort of relatable quality factor between you and that person.
That's awesome. I love that. And I want to wrap it up with one thing, just to leave everybody something to, maybe a little to do to add to their list today or wherever they're watching this. Bethany, what one thing that they probably haven't done yet, even if they are familiar with social media, can every mortgage professional do right now to make a bit of a difference, to provide some extra value or reach somebody that they might not have reached with their last post?
What one thing could they do?
What one thing? What one creative thing can all the uncreative people like me go out with?
I'd say, I would either go live or do a reel. I know a lot of people get scared when I say that, but I'd say go live and do a reel and talk about your first time home experience and what that was like, and talk about how you felt not knowing all these things, because not everyone who is in the mortgage industry now, when they bought their first home, one of the things that I love about Johnny is the reason he got in this business is because of what a poor experience he had buying his first house. And the lady actually made a big mistake with a Leo. He's a Leo. She said, well, if you think you can do it better. And he said, okay. And he did.
And here we are.
Exactly. 28 years later. So talk about that. Talk about the human experience of buying a house. Talk about, people that you've helped get in a house that, it took a minute. Talk about the human interest, because that's what we want to know about. We want to know about the experience of buying a home, because so many people, they're thinking about buying a house, or maybe they're thinking about buying the second home or whatever. Talk about that, because
that's amazing.
We really want to know.
I love that.
What a great close. I am so glad that made me smile when you said that.
Bethany, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence yet again. We appreciate you being on the pod as always. Johnny, thanks, man.
Every day, brother. Thank you.
I look forward to our next chat, and I hope you guys do too. Thanks for joining us for today's Fly the Flag podcast presented by American Financial Network Incorporated. That's it. We got nothing else. We're going to end the recording, and you guys get back to whatever you need to get back to. We'll talk to you later.
Have a great day.
Bye.